Okay, let's see how this week actually played. So welcome to my very own channel. If you are new, make sure you subscribe for your support. Actually, this content are very real and they're free. Actually, I don't actually sell these courses at all. I only just trade. Then I trade in my community. If you're not in my community, well, you'll just get that pre-trading actually, and it's also helpful if you understand what I'm telling you. So the first thing I need you to have is this session by Lex Algo, and it's right here. The session by New York session, the session by Lex Algo, and make sure on your setting, you switch off the New York session. So because you're trading the New York and don't want the New York to disturb you, so you need to remove the New York session. So after you remove the New York session, before the week starts, you need to know to get the direction of the previous week ending. So we use the volume profile and mark the Friday's Asian and London session right there. So at this level, if you are new to this, don't use the middle one. That's the middle one is the point of control where the most trade were traded. So we don't need the most trade were traded. We only need this, the VAH and VA low, the value area high and the value area low. So I just call them support and resistance. So after we closed that on the London session, the market actually was approaching this level, was approaching our support. Yeah, so as the market was approaching our support, we had to market to that level right there. But once the market tapped to our support area, it closed. The market closed the end of the week, so we didn't actually enter. So because we didn't actually enter, we waited for the Monday actually, when there's no gap. That was a good thing, making things very much easier. So as you can see right here, why did the market actually drop? We were actually on a bullish trend and we had this, we had clearly. So this one is, I see a little bit of ICT knowledge right there. So we had this fair value gap right here, and once the market opened, we had a bullish momentum. Then it came back to a bearish momentum. Why did it came back? And actually we were waiting for, if it was going up, we were waiting for it to hit this level right here and close below this. We're waiting for it to come back and hit this resistance. After tapping our resistance, we sell, but it gave us this bearish momentum. Why? Because there was a fair value gap. That's why I put this fair value gap, but I normally don't use the fair value gaps and the FEG bow, change of character, breakup structure, but I use liquidity sometimes. So me and my community, we actually entered right at this moment, because this candle, after some time, it came back up with the momentum. So we entered using this momentum. Stop loss just below there, take profit on the resistance area. As you can see, the trade played perfectly. So that's on a Monday. Actually we opened it up with a win. So it tapped at this area. We only take like one trade per day, but if you are that kind of trader that you see, you could enter right here. Yeah, you could enter right here, and this one would have actually played well to that area. But using the ALA strategy and the ALA rules, we are not allowed to do that. Actually, I made them, the rules, I made them myself. We're not actually to do that. Out of my experience, you're not allowed to do that. So once the market enters to the London session, you have to stop trading. London session, the ALA strategy dies right there. It's like you're drowning. Once you hit your TP, we only trade on the Asian. Why? Because most people think that the Asian is not a trading session, and the New York also is not a trading session. So I combine the New York and the Asian session. So I got the first TP. That was on Monday. So on Tuesday, no, that was actually because of the Friday. So on Monday we had marked our Asian and our London session right there. After we had our London session, the market actually ended very far from our support and resistance. So we had to wait. Because it's outside. We had to wait. So what I was actually expecting is that the market with this momentum will break this level. The market will break this level, come back and retest this area, then head back to my resistance. So this is what I actually expected, but as you can see, the first candle tapped, didn't broke, the second one tapped, and the third one was a confirmation that we are in for a sale. We actually don't trade this London session, but as you can see, we were in for a trade because of this Asian session. So this one we broke the rules. I did actually broke the rules and target this level right here because of the liquidity lying around there. So it's good sometimes to break the rules. What are this thing doing, guys? Let me remove this thing. Okay, so my stop loss was right there, and that was a risk to reward of 1:4. So if I knew better, I would have taken it all the way down, but actually I didn't need to risk that much of a trade, risking a lot because we were on a London session. If you are a London session trader, and this one here was actually a nice move that you could have actually get, but on using in the other strategy, you only focus on winning. We don't need that much we don't need that to risk a lot of things that maybe it could cause us a loss. So that was on a Tuesday. Before the London actually closed, we had our TP. So because of this one was because of a news. On Tuesday we had a huge gap between the support and resistance, and I was not actually, if you have this good gap, that meaning that you are probably to get like best risk to reward. So this line is not actually straight. So once we broke that, we are actually out before the London actually closed. After the London closed, we waited till the London actually swept the previous London session, and after breaking that, we had like the previous one's entry. The previous entry, they all what they say, they look the same actually. This week I only trade mostly on the sell, and we had this level right here. Let me see. I hit this level. So my target was on a, you have to be careful. Sometimes you can see that, yeah, I would have targeted right here, but it would have played out, but there's no difference between here and here. Actually it's still the same. So this one was a 1:4 risk to reward ratio, and actually it played well, as you can see. So that was on Tuesday support and resistance. So on Wednesday once we got our profit and this London closes, we put our support and resistance machine. Our support and resistance machine. So the market actually was playing with the support as usual. It was playing with our support area. Okay, once it was playing with our support area, let me zoom in for you. We broke with the momentum, then we came back in with the momentum. So once we broke with this candle here, we didn't have momentum. I was waiting for this candle to actually reject this key level, but it didn't reject. So I waited, and what I was waiting, I actually got something shocking because I got a momentum downward. So now, okay, so we had actually this one I had a loss. I had a loss because once it rejected this level here, multiple times I was in for a, my guts were telling me that now I need to sell, but I didn't sell it right away. I was waiting for an engulfing candle, then I got an engulfing candle right here, and this one was not actually what I was expecting. So I actually was not actually, I didn't take this one as a confirmation. So once we had this momentum, came back and retested this level, I entered in for a sell right here. Yeah, this thing don't usually work out. Sometimes you have to be very much patient. Putting my stop loss above that area, thinking that it will hold. But what happened next, it's shocking, because the market actually went direct for my stop loss. Okay, sometimes you lose, but using this other strategy you might lose like 1 or 2 per week. That's usual, but that's why I'm telling you, don't ever trade aggressively. So because you might lose like one trade, maybe that one trade you entered full margin, and after that entering that full margin didn't actually work. So why I so on my journal I put that I stated that we had this fair value gap right here. You can see the market was actually consolidating on the fair value gap, so it was a bullish fair value gap, and I entered for a sale. This one was actually the mistake, because I had a bullish fair value gap and I entered for a sale, which I was supposed to wait for this candle to actually broke outside, then this one to retest this area. After retesting that area, I was supposed to enter for a buy right here. My target below this key level, and my take profit will be right here, and that one would have played very well. What am I doing? Yeah, that one would have played very well, but I didn't actually waited for that. I'm sorry, I'm taking much of your time with this thing. So this one actually I lost, but it was actually somehow an A+ error, because I can say I overlooked, but I didn't overlook that level. So let's mark on our wow. So you see, as you can see, we had a huge support and resistance, not like this thing. When you get this thing, what I'm waiting for is a rejection. So once I got this thing right here, I know that I can't put on the resistance, because I know that the market is closed. It's here. How can I just mark the resistance, and I know that the market has to first come tap this support? That's why I always use the support just to break. If it was on the other side, I would have taken it, but it's not on the other side, it's on the support zone. So the market went the whole night. I was just waiting for a trade the whole fucking night. I was waiting for a trade. So let me show you something that I actually got very smart. They say that people learn from their mistake. Yeah, I did actually learn from my mistake. No. So we had a fair value gap. It was once tapped with this candle. So I had in mind that, yeah, if it was tapped with that, meaning that it might be able to be tapped again, because it's near my key level. So as you can see right here, it was again tapped. Now once this candle tapped and that candle closed, I entered with my full goddamn confidence. I entered right here. Once it was tapped, my stop loss, my TP on the previous, this right here. Yeah, my stop loss was above this, giving me a rest road of 1:3, maybe 1:4. Yeah, it was actually a great trade, and before even the market closed, I already had my full TP for the day, 1:3. But I love intraday trading. It actually gives me perfect. You'll never get any strategy better than this, when you have to wait for a change of character. What if it doesn't fall? This one has to. It has to, in one way or the other. This thing has to. So let me show you the market. Actually, now this one is different. As you can see, the market was on my resistant area. Do you know something called break and retest? No, the one I was talking earlier is that when the market was outside, I would have waited for it to come back, tap this area, tap that area again, head for my what? Yep, it's messy. Yeah, tap this area right here, and then I went for a sell. So this one is still ongoing, because I entered right here after the first candle tapped, the second one tapped and closed inside there. That was actually what I was waiting for. So this one, I have two options for my TP. I can either put it right here on this, or I can put it on the other side on this liquidity right here. Yeah, because the market actually hands the liquidity, so I can either put it right here or I can put it here, doesn't matter. So my stop loss, as you can see, we always have this thing, fair value gap. As you can see, the market also reacted from this fair value gap, because once it broke with this candle, it was outside. This one was, these two candles closed outside, then this one came back in and tapped that area. Meaning if you tap that area, we're in for a sell. My TP is right there, 1:4, as you can see. Very simple. Okay, let's see how many trades I have actually got on this week and how many I have lost. You already know I have lost only one trade. Actually, I only lost one trade the whole week. How many trades have you lost? How many trades have you lost this week? So that you can leave it on the comments. I'll read later. So you can see the first one was a banger, 2 was a banger, 3 was a banger. The fourth one, this one was I lost. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, the fifth one is not complete, but I traded like six entry per week. I got 6 entry per week, and then the 6th entry I lost 1, and 1 is still on gone. So if you think there's any strategy better than this one, dial that on my comments. If there is any strategy better than mine, dial that on my comments. And if you like this strategy and you are willing to challenge me with your strategy, dial that on the comment, and make sure to subscribe for more. And I'm always here on the Alpha Trade Hub. Thank you guys. See you next time.